I think we're good. I think we're good to go. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up, Fairy? How you doing, buddy? Like you're first one to respond. Okie dokie. What are we doing today? Today we are doing God of War Troll. This is what we're working on. So far, this is where we've gotten. If you guys have not had the chance to see any of the previous work, then you're free to take a look at the previous streams where I started from scratch. Find them on Pixelogic's YouTube channel, or you can find them on zbrushlive.com under my page. Brendon Isaiah Bengtson. That's me. Hey, how are you? Christelle, how you doing? What's up? Casper, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, so yeah, this is where we are so far. Very much. From Budapest, hello, Thomas. Hello from California. Peter, what's up, buddy? How many brushes are your favorite? I'd say clay brush, move topology, remove topological, damn standard, Z modeler, and snake hook now. That's probably the best. Those are probably the best. Video Nomad, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? But yeah, I usually use mostly just those for most of my stuff. Probably about 90% of my work is just using those brushes. But of course, something like, you know, these alphas and stuff, that's a different brush. So I'm gonna turn my fan on here. It's a little bit. I get some air moving in this room here. If that is too much noise for some reason on the chat, you'll have to let me know. Alright. How did I make those straps on the leg? I'll show you real quick. We'll do it real quick and then we'll move. We'll stick a move. We'll stick a move action. They're actually really easy. So basically, you just grab whatever your base is. Grab your brush size. Go to brush, curve, strap, snap, like that. And then as you start drawing on your mesh, you hold down Shift. That'll give you a straight line. But then keep holding down Shift, and then as soon as you go outside of the silhouette, it'll give you a full circle around whatever you're drawing on. Then boom, there you go. What's up, you go? How you doing, buddy? So it's easy as that. Just change your brush size. You know, you can come in and say, oh, I actually want that a little bit smaller. Okay, there we go. And then you just rinse and repeat. Easy peasy. Alright, let's turn off this bottom one for now. Okay. Alright, what are we working on today? Alright, 1 for 1. We are 1 for 1 in the helping department today. Sweet. 5 minutes in. I already helped somebody. That's how I like it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to... I think I may actually work on the face today. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I'm happy to help. That's pretty much why I still do streaming. It's really a two-pronged approach. One is it actually helps me get personal work done if I schedule time to do this. The other is actually to help. One of my favorite things is to teach. So kind of think of this as a live tutorial. Live tutorial. Whoa. Whoa. Right now I'm just kind of noodling around just to see if I can, what kind of sticks out at me as being blaringly bad, some more than others. Well, I kind of consider what I'm going to work on. I want to, let's actually, you know what? Let's turn that back to the original body here. Doot, 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 doot. There we go. That's better. I don't like how much hip you're showing there, bro. Right, Jacob? Yes, this troll is from fan art from God of War. All of the fan art. It would help. Jacob says, I'd feel a whole lot better. It would help me a whole lot if I could see screenshots from the Marvel game development. They would kill me. Literally. They'd be like, yeah, you're done. Bro, you're done. You're done, ski. Get out of here. Kick straight to the keister. I don't really want him to show too much of this hip, so I feel like he's trying to be a little too sexy, you know? It's a risk we're willing to take. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Can you share your UI on Zbrush? Where can I find a UI like that? You can. I actually have it on my website. If you go to right here, bengtsondesigns.com, you'll find them on my homepage on the bottom. I've modified just a touch since then, but this is the version 2 is pretty much what this UI is. So you're more than welcome to grab that. It's free. Look at that hip bone. He's like, all right. I think let's work on his head today. What do you think? Should we work on his head? Should we like make some? I don't think that his head's going to move much, right? So right now he's just still part of this, right? I don't think I'm gonna really move his head a whole lot anymore, so I think I'm good to roll. No problem, Pauline. A French student. Nice. Yeah, you're welcome to share that link too if you want. If you know any other people that are looking for UIs. Head sounds good? Yeah, all right. I'd say let's get into some head stuff. Like let's see, you get to a certain part of the block out where you're like, okay, I'm ready. Let's get into some dirty details so we can start making this thing actually look better. Alright? Let's get it out of the valley of suck in some spots. let's do that. Let's do that. What resolution did you work on ZBrush now? For me, it looks more than full HD. No, this is 1920 by 1080, or at least my screen resolution is. All right. So as you can tell, he is non-symmetrical. That's right, living dangerously. And I think I'm going to continue to work on him non-symmetrically. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is, instead of just working in solo mode with just his head, I think I'm going to clean up my subtools a little bit, because I really want to see his beard and eyeballs, especially if I'm working on the eyes. Really want to see his eyeballs, and I don't necessarily want to have them in the same subtool. So let's do just a little bit of cleanup here. So usually when I'm working, I will dupe things off and throw them down to the bottom. Thanks, Hannibal. And then, you know, as I keep moving along, I usually have all these pieces that I'm not really using anymore. So what I'm gonna do is, those are my eyeballs. First, I'm gonna save it. And then I'm gonna version up my save so that if I ever need to go back and find all these pieces, I'll just open a previous version and then append stuff in. So right now, I don't really... yeah, how did I manage all those at a 1920 by 1080? Actually, you know what? The trick is to go into interface and change your button size. So I brought my button size down to 40. That's the trick. Unfortunately, you have to restart ZBrush for it to take effect, but that's the ultra secret for getting a lot of buttons on your UI. That's the secret. Don't tell anybody. Facing issues with my anatomy. In your art or your own personal anatomy? If it's your personal anatomy, you should see a doctor. I'm just kidding. Practice, dude. That's what I would say. I'm still facing issues in my anatomy as well, my art anatomy. If I can delay, what comes with default? What's up, Side Effects? How you doing? What's up, Roman? How are you, sir? Cool. If I download your UI that comes with default, yeah, you can always go back to default. If you go into Preferences, Config, you can always restore your standard UI. Always. Or what you can do is up in here, you can switch between different UIs up here as well. What's up, Emperor? How you doing? So usually what I'll do just to clean up real quick, I'll just go into Subtool Master, and I'll hide everything that I want to delete, and then just do delete invisible. So again, I versioned up, so I don't have to worry too much about losing all that stuff that I just had. If I ever need to go back, I'll just open up a previous version, and then just append in something that I don't want, or something that I want. Yeah. So Back from work? Nice. I'm doing work before work today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shift click on the eye on the particular one that I'm on, and then I'll just turn on the ones that I want, which are the eyeballs. Grab these, shift click, throw that up to the top, and we're good. Now we got all these pieces we can roll on. Excuse me. How many hours of the day do you spend in 3D modeling programs like Zbrush? It's a lot now, considering I work 9 hours a day at the game studio, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. When I wasn't working in the studio, I try to get at least a couple hours a day. At least a couple hours a day. Right, Hugo? Alright, so let's... Actually, you know what? Before I start this, if I like the place that something's at, I usually will just duplicate off one. We'll throw it all the way to the bottom, and then turn that bad mamma jamma off. Because what I can do is, if I don't like something, I can always reproject to this state if I want. Becomes really helpful. Now let's go back to this guy. I made mouth with mouth cavity, but I didn't use Dynamesh, and when I want to use Dynamesh, it connects upper and lower lip and ruins what I did. How can I avoid it? It's really tough to avoid that in the small spaces when you're using any kind of Dynamesh. So what I would suggest is do all of the stuff that you need to do in Dynamesh first, always, and then as you start moving past the Dynamesh stage, then start doing all of your topology stuff, and that would include the mouth cavity. So like right now, I'm not even worried about it. Because I know I'm really just in kind of like the overall block out stage, and I may change things quite a bit. So I'm not even going to be worried about that stuff. Let's turn on. Right, Paul? You got to lift a lot of weight to get swole. Swole gains, baby. Swole gains. Alright. So now we're good. Now that we actually have Sculptris Pro on, we can go in and start actually changing the geo in here. So I usually just kind of start blocking in some more major shapes and kind of refining some areas that are key. Archy? They're archy? Spend most of my time learning anatomy, but still do not understand the shapes and size as clean as you are doing. It's patience and lots of practice, man. Patience, and lots of practice. You'll get there. When did you actually start your career in 3D? Ooh, that's kind of a long story. But I'll tell you my story. The quicker version. Yeah, do I have intensities down? There we go. I started my 3D career when I decided to go to college for 3D art back in 2002. Pro, what's up, buddy? What's up, Tyrone? How you doing? So I'd been doing just random stuff off and on since the early 2000s in my personal time. But I decided to make the go for it and actually go to art college in 2002. So I graduated with my degree in 2007. I didn't, at the time, I didn't really like where the game industry was. There's a lot of stuff going on. So instead of going into the game industry, I actually went into the medical and dental field doing 3D modeling. So I did work in the medical field for about 4 or 5 years. Actually working on head anatomy, head and skull anatomy. It was actually a lot of fun. I learned so much about the human face and the human skull. Crazy. But then I went to my first BlizzCon back in 2013, and I was like, "Oh man, I got to get back into the game industry with like now." So I spent about 2 years just relearning everything. I have been drawing. I've drawn most of my life. But the amount of things that had changed between 2007 and 2013, 14, it completely changed. Everything changed. So I had to relearn everything pretty much. So part of it's formal education, but the rest of it is definitely relearning things. So I spent a couple of years going back over and learning all of the major things, like the pipeline and everything. Coming up with my own pipeline, just trying to figure all that stuff out. And then started doing some smaller gigs here and there, like little startups and, Kickstarters and those types of things. From there, and then I really wanted to kind of meet a lot more people, so that's actually when I started streaming. It was probably about 4 years ago now. But yeah, and then I think pretty much got my big break down at Sony in San Diego. So I worked down there for a while, and then I moved back up to the Bay Area and worked at Visceral for a little while, working on the Star Wars game. That imploded, as all of you remember. And then now I am at Crystal Dynamics, working on the Avengers project. You gotta lift a lot of weight to get them swoles. Yep. Let's see what else. What do you think the most common mistakes people make when first starting ZBrush? Going too fast, getting into details too quickly. Really want to just make sure that some of the first things that you do is to be patient, learn the software, and don't jump into high-res details right away. It's so easy to do. It's super, super important to make sure that you nail the forms first before moving into detail. Super, super important. Head anatomy, brief question. I'm assuming you've used base meshes. Doing a quick portrait with a ZBrush standard female head. Base mesh is a closed mouth. How the heck do I separate the bottom lip and vice versa? It's a little bit tricky to do if you're using a base mesh, and if you're trying to keep that topology. If you're okay with moving away from that and destroying it a little bit, I would just cut them apart. Right? So like if you're going to use, let's say if you're going to use this dude, what I would do is I would actually just hide one of these, right? And then maybe we'll just, depending on what your anatomy is, or what your topology looks like, right? And then I may just kind of clean that up a little bit. But then what I would do is I would use group visible and turn that into a polygroup. And then you can have two polygroups, right? So like if your upper lip was right up here, and then it's pretty easy. You can just really quickly just hide one, work on that, flip that, work on the other one. That's one way I would do it. Alright, sorry, I've been missing a little bit. I've been trying to select the bottom lip, polygroup, maybe polygroup. Yeah, that's what I would do. No, Bridgemonger, we do this all in our free time. We don't get paid by Pixelogic to do these. Oh, Grand Mirror. I actually started in Lightwave. That's funny. And because laid back banner is blocking how much free memory you have. You know, I don't really have too many issues anymore with memory issues, and I'm only running 16 gigs. It's my take on angle of view when sculpting faces. Whatever looks good. I don't really have a system for it. I'd say probably better to have a lower angle of view when you're up close. So actually, we should probably turn this to like 28 or so. I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. It does, but I don't know. I don't typically have a set way of doing it. How would you typically present your characters in a portfolio? Keyshot passes or using Zbrush? Tyrone, it really depends. Depends on what you're going for. Are you trying to be a character artist? Are you doing an environment? Oh, you say characters in your actual question. I think one of the most important things for character artists is to show a full breakdown of your in-game as well as your sculpt. So I would show high res, probably with some nice keyshot renders, but then I would go all the way and make sure that I have some good Marmoset tool bag shots in there as well to show, and then show my maps as well. If you're looking for a gig, they want to see all of that. Okay. So just want to define the lips a little bit more. So usually when I get to a point where, you know, I have the major forms blocked in as to where I'm at, the next stage for me usually is just start refining some of the areas. right? What are the lips gonna look like? This beard is really, I think I'm gonna get rid of the beard for right now. What do the shapes look like? That kind of thing. And it's going really slow, so I'm gonna save this real quick. Do the fur part. Actually, what I may do, if you guys remind me in about an hour, I'll save the last little bit for blocking in some fiber mesh for the beard. How about that? Do you guys want to see that? Hmm? Yeah, a lot of people rush into details. Form, like, yes, exactly. Form is so important. I'm trying to figure out what my lips are going to look like. When I was learning anatomy, when I study anatomy, you know, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to digest. What I always suggest is just focus on one area at a time. You know, sometimes as I'm going through my daily life, um, I'll take a week and just study people's lips. You know, but how many times do you sit and like actually look at somebody when you're talking to them, right? The trick is to be able to carry a meaningful conversation while studying their face. It's actually really tough to do. So I've reworked my head sculpt and made it look better. If you have time, please have a look in ArtStation. If you want to send me a link on Facebook, I could take a look. Vimal. Yeah, it's really tough. The mouth you want to think about sooner than later, whether it's going to be open or not. Because once you start getting down the rabbit hole, it's tough to make a move without kind of ruining everything. So yeah, I would usually what I do is I'll take a particular topic for anatomy and just focus on those for the week. You know, I'm like, look at how many different, and then just focus on one spot. You're like, wow, I want to know how to do lips. Focus on the bottom lip first. You know, what are the forms doing? Like, dude, if you look at, what's crazy is, if you, so looking at the bottom lip, right? The bottom lip has like these, you know, crazy forms that pull off the side of the lip and move down this way, right? So sometimes you can make those larger, you can make them smaller. If you guys look at Michael B. Jordan, the actor, he has got some I don't even know what this is called. This piece right here is called, but he has got some crazy. We have to look at it right now. Watch this. What is it, Michael B. Anthony? Yeah. Take a look at this. Look at this. When we're just talking about that side of the lip, when he's not smiling, when he's not smiling, or raising his chin. Jesus, come on. Like, look at this. Look at this form right here. They're huge. Craziness going on here. It's crazy. Probably not even that one. Yeah, here you go. Look at the whatever this is right here. I don't even know the name of it, but he's got some craziness. Michael Reitzeiger. Yeah, but just being observant and seeing like, like right here. Look at that. That's crazy. Anywho, just take um take a specific portion, and then just focus on that for the week. That's what I try to do. It's fun. Alright, what else? So we take a low poly model into something like Maya, manually split the, yeah. Pro coming through. Vimal, just take a, copy paste my name, throw it into Zbrush. I mean, throw it into Facebook. Alright, so we're going to start pushing some shapes here. The biggest lips you've ever seen. It's crazy, man. The different types, once you start, once you pull back the veil of looking at people's actual anatomy, like, it's it's crazy. You can't unsee stuff. Oh yeah. Well, I think it's because he's got big teeth. So this is like Michael Reitzeiger. It's because he's got big teeth. That's why he's got big lips. We're pushing his lips out. Like if you look at this. But yeah. See if there's a profile of him. Yeah. His teeth like come out like this, basically. Like if you look at where the underside of his nose would be, is here. So like his teeth come out this way, and like his chin is the end of the chin bone is here, which means that his teeth are coming out like this. So he's got like this, the bone anatomy comes out this way. So the lips got to go all the way around that. That's pretty crazy. What's up, Jose? How you doing, man? Yeah, dude, I'm pretty stoked for the new Cyberpunk. Pretty damn stoked. All right. See if we can get some of this action going. So what am I looking at? So first and foremost, I want to make sure that the orbital socket reads. All right, so let's look at what they're doing up here. He's got some really deep set eyes with lots of baggage. Lots of baggage. I like, so the eyes look really small, the brow looks freaking huge, and they're probably deep set, so we got some major baggage in here, right? So let's see if those are even set back far enough. Probably almost could be set back a little further. Let's see if we could do that. See what that looks like. Yeah, I don't mind that. What's up, Matt? How you doing? O2 King, this is the troll from God of War. So I think what I'm going to do is actually grab this side and do the same thing. So really want that deep set eye. Yeah, I'm just doing some fan art. Thought it'd be fun to do some fan art. I really, really enjoyed the game. The art is absolutely amazing. Oh, look, I moved both of them back at the same time. That actually worked out pretty good. Let's do that, though. One of the common mistakes that I see a lot of people make about the eyes is not giving the eyelids enough thickness. Super, super common to see super thin eyelids. So what I would do is actually err on the side of too thick and then just pull them back a little bit. You'll actually be really surprised how thick people's eyelids are. Right, Jacob? I know, when he said that, you're like, I was all, it's easy, just take a scan. For Detroit fan art. Just take a scan of somebody. Throw it on there. Boom, you done. Because that's what they did. Alright, so then I want to make sure that I have enough room for his crunkles in here. Botched taco. I usually use some kind of base mesh to start from and then pose it. You can go back and watch the first couple of streams I did on this guy. It's all archived on zbrushlive.com under my name. You can also go to Pixelogic's YouTube channel, and they have them archived there as well. So here we got to make sure that the eyelid is a consistent thickness around the eyeball. And make sure that things aren't too wobbly either. Cool. Alright, let's put in the crunkle on this side as well. Now what's awesome about Sculptris Pro is that even though I have like super bad topology in there, I could just come in It sculpted right in there. What? Shut up. No way. Jose, that is not for me to decide, sir. It will come one day. And then all of you will be blown away. Alright, let's look at the eye shape. Okay, so making sure that we have enough thickness on the eyelids. We've got a crunkle in there. I feel like this one's not as good. I think you need a little bit more down shape here. The eyelid comes up and then down. Maybe we can get a little bit more shape in there. Full face. $1 million an hour. Alright, so the next part that I want to work on is the eye socket and the eye bag reed. Right now, it feels a little bit too much like... And here's another thing that I actually like doing is, let's fill the object with white. If I want to take notes for myself, this is a really, really cool way to do it. I can just come in with my standard brush and do RGB. And I can just come in and like just draw right on here. So what I want to do is, what I'm thinking is I want to make sure to have this type of shape to it. Right? This type of eye socket. And what I'm looking at right now is this little triangle. I want to make sure that I have some kind of shape that comes up this way. What's up, Indy? How you doing, buddy? Alright, so see this little spot right in here? So what I can do now is something like this, right? Where it cuts this shape off, this line that comes up here. Instead of it all the way going all the way to the bridge of his nose and then coming back, really want to make sure that I have this shape to it, right? Did you make the character that is on your title screen the guy in the red hat with the clothes? Yes. Yes, sir. Not my concept. That concept is from Anthony Jones. But yes, I was the fine chap that did that project. Mapped. How long have I been streaming? Today or in general? Today it's been about almost an hour now. In general, it's probably been around, God, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now? 3 years? If you get a minute at the end, can you look at the demo female head and show how to separate the mouth? And maybe polygroup. I'll keep botching it up. Possibly. I possibly can. So I want to make sure. Yeah. That. And if I want to get rid of these little notes, I'll just turn colorize off and go back to white. Oh, how long will you be streaming today? I'll be on for about at least another hour and 10 minutes. I did 2-hour streams are usually about as much as I could fit in at any given time. So let's pull this back, And then I want to make that shape kind of go up this way. Alright, so now we're looking at a clear eye socket on the outside here. Jose, yes, I've done this guy completely on the Pixelogic streams. So if you want to go back and watch from the beginning, you can either go to zbrushlive.com under my page and find those, or you can go to Pixelogic's YouTube under videos. If you go there, there's lots of other awesome artists and their posts, streams as well. So I'm just working on breaking up some of these shapes a little bit, making sure that the overall shape still reads as this line. But I want to start adding a little bit more secondary Gillette says, how many polygons does a fully done sculpt like this usually take? Are you talking about the high res, or are you talking about the final in-game mesh? Thanks, Botched. Thanks for posting the link, man. So I'm just adding some secondary form breakup, while still trying to keep this read happening. I'm just trying to get some secondary reads coming in here. Yep, that's fine. Nice. So, I feel like these in here, these shapes in here aren't really working very well. So I want to redefine this a little bit more. So if you're unsure, I always try to look at right side and well, it's because his head is twisted too. But that's more straight on. Yeah, I would probably do that same thing. Okay, so what happens on this side of the eye? You know what, let's just take a look at some reference real quick. Let's do some eyeball. Really also depends on the race as well. If you look at like an Asian eye versus Caucasian versus African American, they're all a little bit different. Whether you're looking at a young eye or an old eye. Let's look at eye anatomy. Eye anatomy. No. Maybe old man eye. There we go. This is kind of what I'm looking at. So we have the shape of the eyelid that comes in here and actually extends. And what you'll see is the division between the nose, the nasal shapes, the eyelid shape, and the top eye bag and the eyelid, right? So in between this shape, and this shape, you'll tend to get this little recess in here. And similar for this one down here. Right? So the eyelid goes into the bridge of the nose area, and you'll tend to get a little recess here and a little recess here. So that's kind of what I'm going for. So as this comes down, you just use the move topological, and we'll just push this in a little bit. Then we'll pull this guy out a touch. Right? And then we'll pull all of this in a little bit. How long does it take you to make a full character? If you're working on a game character, it should probably take you somewhere around, you know, it depends. It really depends. It's tough to say, really. One to 2 months worth of work, I would say, for the full character. If you're working 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's usually... But if, you know, if you're working on stylized, it may be quicker. If you're working on super high end, you know, depends on if are you working on blend shapes as well. Are you working on hair? Like, it could easily go from a month for a minor character to 4 or 5 months for a major character with, you know, what do you call it? Hair, you know, full face, that kind of stuff. It could take a long time, man. Working hard on learning anatomy, specifically muscle structure and proportion. Have any tips on this? Patience. I think that's the biggest thing. Is just be patient, and take things kind of piece by piece. Say don't go too fast, and take it chunk by chunk. You know. That's what I would say for anybody who's learning anatomy, is be patient and take things chunk by chunk. Learn a specific part of the anatomy first. You know, work on arms first, or just work on biceps first. Then what do the triceps do? You know? And then, you know, what else is in the arm? How does the brachialis work? Alright. Let's see if these shapes are reading a little better. It's still a little lumpy. I hate real-time hair too. Yeah. Probably the quickest way to learn is to draw the shapes. Hell, even copy the shapes out of the book first if you want. Getting to know what muscles attach where on the bones, it's a lot, but just take it piece by piece and be patient, you know. Okay, so now what I want to do is, now that I'm getting a little bit more kind of secondary reads in here, I'm not really happy with it at the moment. I may do the other side and then come back and do this side again. Maybe we'll add a little bit more coming through here. Just working on shapes right now. I don't really care too much about the surface. So what I'm looking at now is just the top eye bag, and then I want to make sure that this bottom eye bag is reading pretty good. So again, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm following this basic shape, which is, it's fairly close. I think what I want to do is emphasize the eye bag shape a little bit more. Whew, you guys are going crazy in the chat right now. But easier. How do you practice just one muscle? Just create a bunch of arms? Sure, yeah. I would say maybe focus on that muscle. Well, it's hard to do just one muscle. When I say focus on one muscle is, you know, when you're focusing on that muscle, where does it connect? What bones does it connect to? You know, what muscles does it sit next to? Does it go underneath another muscle? Does it go over another muscle? Does it how does it interact with the other muscles? Just learning that and knowing where those match up and connect and stuff. Start there. So I want to make sure that I keep this nice division line here. How hard is it to do UVs and retop for a character in Zbrush? Say game characters. I wouldn't do UVs and retopo in Zbrush. I don't think ever. Right now, for high-end character realistic stuff, it doesn't really have the best tool set. Like, you can do it, but you can do it way easier in Maya or Moto or Max or any other retopo program. Mostly because yeah, you can do it in ZBrush, but there's way better tools for doing it to do it faster as well. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to kind of emphasize this structure here, right? So what I want it to do is I want instead of having just a line go like this for this line here, right, where this curvature is relatively the same as this curvature, that looks boring, right? It looks like it's just dug in. So instead, I want to make sure that my forms on one side of that division line work in conjunction with the forms on the other side, right, in an interesting way. So, you know, at some points I may want to have, you know, a higher ridge here. You know, and then maybe here we'll have this be not so high of a ridge. Ooh, you guys are going crazy right now on the chat. I can't keep up. Can't keep up with you guys. What's up, Annie? .3D coat I heard is pretty good too. So, you know, here I may want to have this curvature here with a matching curvature, but as I move away, I may want to move to a different combination, right? So that's what makes interesting shapes, is when you kind of mix up those recipes, I guess you could say. Yeah, so maybe this one will be more flat on the bottom side. You know, maybe we can even use maybe a soft polish here. right? And then here we've got a more curved form. Now watch what this does. Right, so then maybe this flattens out in here, like this, and then maybe this becomes more rounded. So when you start thinking of how the shapes interact with each other to form a division line, that's when you start getting into really, really nice shape language. Right? So you see how this switches? Right? So we got more curvature on this side of this division line. And then here we have flat, right? And then it switches as it gets down here where this is more curved and this is more flat. Now watch this. Look how much more interesting these shapes start to be. Instead of thinking of how, of creating a line, create that same line by using different shapes on either side of that line, Just evening these out a little bit here. Alright, so maybe we've got a little bit more of a line there. More of a rounded curves surface on this side. And a little more flat on this side. Alright, maybe we'll do, maybe try to flatten on this side. Just try to kind of flatten out this area a little bit. Alright, and then we want to move that shape a little bit. And maybe I wanted to have a little bit more of a corner here. Right, as we look at this piece, right, we actually come in and create a little bit more of a corner. Let's see what that looks like. So now, as you're turning and as your light is changing, we're still getting those really nice, interesting shapes. And it's still creating that line, right? So using those types of shapes and those theories, you get a lot more interesting things happening. And I actually really like using the clay buildup when I'm doing this. It starts really adding some nice surface breakup, some kind of like this nice organic surface breakup. What's up, Hug Beast? I don't like that corner too much. I'm going to round that off just a little bit more. So, Joanne, how are you? Alright, maybe we've got some of this coming in here. You got a lot of interesting shapes happening now. Right, so you always want to make sure that you have the far away read as well. So I think this line is a little bit too much now. We have a little bit too much there. So I think what we can do is just pull back on that separation a little bit. Maybe like this. and then let that separation continue down here. So it kind of, you know, your eye knows that it's a socket, right? We've stared at a lot of faces in our time. So we know that when this line comes up and this line comes this way, it's going to meet around there, right? So we kind of just suggest some things are happening. Okay. But I like to try to not get too far away from either side, right? So if I work on one side for a while, I want to make sure that I'm not getting too far away from the other side. I don't want to forget and then have to redo everything. So let's do the inner eye first in here. Alright, so let's get this shape going. Just push this in a little bit. Get some forms happening. Sometimes you do the process once on one side, and then as you're doing it on the second side, you actually refine the process, and it actually looks better on the second side. It happens a lot. And then you just go back and fix the other one again. Okay. So let's start this again. The teeth are not separate objects at the moment. The beard and the eyes are, because I want to be able to push my eyelids around without having this affected. It's really great to be able to sculpt around the eyeball object. The other thing too is I actually try to sculpt in the direction that the skin moves. So like if we got this kind of downward swooping action going, I like to try to sculpt in that direction for the most part. Let me actually go back a little bit and get rid of this first. Oh, of course. Alright. Yep, that's fine. So I got about alright, so maybe this is just a little bit of a rounded shape here, and we have more of a rounded shape here, like what we were doing on the other side. Anyway, so in about 15 minutes maybe we'll stop and we'll do a quick fiber mesh block out for his beard on his head. So again, we're going to use this top eye bag as a little bit more rounded, and then this down here is going to get flattened out just a little bit, just to give that interesting shape to this line division here. So by using the clay buildup brush, kind of doing in short little stints like this, start to get these nice little form breakups happening through here. Just kind of adds a nice little extra touch to the surface that I really enjoy. It feels a little bit more organic. Okay, and then maybe have so sculpting in the direction of the skin moves is like the animal artist's method for drawing in the direction of the fur lies. Yeah, yeah. It's the same thing with muscles too. If you try to sculpt the muscles in the shape of the direction of the muscle fibers, helps as well. For clay build-up brush, do you keep the alpha on square because it adds a little bit more texture? Yes, I actually do. If I'm doing like nice, trying to not have this breakup, then I'll use like the circle alpha, one of these circle alphas. I can tend to get some nice stuff happening. Finally catching a live string instead of the relay. V-Chens! Oh, dude, you changed your name. Yeah, dude, V-Chens. What's up, buddy? Alright, man. How are you? Alright, we'll flatten this out just a touch. And then we're going to build this up a little bit more. Hey Khan asks, any advice for hard surface? Oh, that's a basket in and of itself, sir. For hard surface, I would say a lot of the same stuff that I say for organic, which is start with big shapes, get the overall read, don't jump into small details right away. Get the form reads first, and then once you're comfortable with how the forms are reading, then jump into smaller details. It kind of goes for a lot of the same advice kind of between those two. Oh, yeah, joint pain. That sucks, man. That sucks. I'm glad you're feeling better though, man. There we go. We're getting some more stuff here. Get some more shapeage here. Happy little shapes. Happy little shapes. Sometimes doing this, like, you'll find some really nice happy accidents too. Alright, that's another reason why I like kind of using the square alpha for this brush. A lot of times when you're doing this kind of stuff, you get these nice things happening, right? So when you see them start happening, you can build on them. That's a lot of nice breakup. Oh, I highly suggest having a SSD. Highly suggest that. Hey, keep it down over there, huh? I'm just gonna roll this out just a little bit more here. Maybe pull this back in. Alright, let's see how we're looking. I feel like this shape is a little bit too uniform. And this shape down here is off. Psst, in. So I'm going to pull this shape down a little bit. That's a little better. This, I feel like this is a little bit too uniform, so I'm going to try to cut back down on this shape a little bit here. And maybe we'll give it a little bit more planes here. Yes, I'm using a Wacom. I'm using a Intuos 5. Alright, let's start adding some more secondary shapes through here. Just to kind of get a little bit more of those secondary reeds. Thinking about where the bridge of the nose of the bone meets the cartilage here. Just adding a little bit of breakup. Okay. Now what's cool is, now that we have some of those shapes in there, we can really start playing around with the overall size. I think maybe this can actually come out way more. Maybe his socket is a little bit larger. Start breaking up these shapes just a little bit more here. The other thing you can do is you can use this smooth feature, which is in Brush Modifiers Smooth. I actually use this quite a lot. So this is per brush. So if I turn smooth up to 1 and I start sculpting, like, it'll actually add some smoothness to the stroke. It becomes really, really, really handy once I'm starting to pull out some of this some of the forms a little bit more, and I want to start getting away from all this super rigidity. So if you go under, what is it, Brush Modifiers Smooth. So I pull it out onto my my UI. So if I go into Brush Modifiers Smooth, this guy right here, Auto Smooth Strength. This is really, really cool. So the difference now is actually it's adding some smoothness as I come in here and sculpt. It's really, really helpful. Just for coming back from some of this jaggedness. Adding some nice soft forms through here. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. Some days I have some crampy hands too, man. That scares me probably more than a lot of things, is losing the hand strength. Yeah, dude, I would be completely freaked out too. Maybe we can go even more. Let's just try to push things a little bit further here real quick. See what that looks like. Alright, bro. Take it easy, man. Absolutely, man. Thanks for dropping by. And thanks for helping out with advice and stuff, as always. Appreciate it, man. Catch you next weekend. $20 hours a day. Good Lord. Good Lord, man. That's like massive crampage. Alright, let's see how we're coming. So look how many more interesting forms we've got going on in his eyes now. Probably add, so a couple more minutes and then I'll jump into blocking out his beard in fiber mesh. A couple more minutes. Just add in a little bit of form breakup through here. Just kind of vary up some of these forms a little bit so they're not looking too mirrored. Just add some of these smaller secondary forms through here too, so everything doesn't look so smooth on there. Yeah, that sounds crazy, Gramir. Yeah. I feel like we start adding some of that fidelity down here too. Maybe just a little bit. Start unifying some of that shape language up there. Your opinions are your own, but we'd like to keep things art related at least. Alright, so maybe we'll just add a little bit more shape to his lip before we're done here. For now. We don't want him to have glamorous lips, but we want him to have at least a little bit of shape to it. Yeah, time for Botox. All right, now, yeah, see, that's not art related. So let's not have those conversations here. This is not the time or the place for that. Goku. Yeah, right? We gotta make him camera ready. We gotta make sure that he's got his pretty face on. Alright. I think we got some nice new forms going on. We fleshed out the eyes a little bit. And the forehead, which is good. Now I would say, let's do some hair real quick. What do you think? Should we do some fiber mesh block out? Let's do it! Save first though. Oh, save. Save. Alright, so how do we do it? How do we do it? First, I start with kind of what I want to do is even out the geo here first. I'm just going to do a quick Sculptress Pro smooth across here. And that'll get me some decent geo. Brendon the barber. I think that'll be enough. Let's just... I want to keep some of the details that is around his lips, so I don't want to get too crazy with smooth. So I feel like this will be enough here. I'll just do a little bit extra. There we go. That's fine. So then what I'm going to do is use my mask brush, mask pen, and then we're just going to mask some areas that I want the hair to go. Real time, baby. Real time, no pressure. Luis from Mode, what's up, buddy? How are you, man? It's good to have you here, bro. Always good to have you here. So I want this to kind of come up into the side of his lip here. So just gonna spend just a little, not too much time, but a little bit, kind of forming where I want the hair to go. Nothing crazy. And we'll just drop it to there. We'll keep it off the horns. There we go. That's fine. Kind of maybe pull it up a little bit like this, and then we'll pull it back off the horns. There we go. So that's the area that we'll have for that. Okay, so let's go into fiber mesh. Oh, why can't I do fiber mesh? Let me think. Let me think. Okay, so what I'm seeing. Oh, this nano mesh. That's why. That's why. Okay, so let's. I usually just go into Lightbox quick and grab probably like this guy. Holy. There we go. What do you guys think? Done and done. Excuse me. Maybe not that one. Try this one. Ah, yeah, this is the one I usually use. So it's kind of got like this messiness happening to it. You can try all kinds of different ones. There's all kinds of crazy ones in here. Crazy. You can have like super thick hair. Yeah, Wacom Intuos Pro would be just fine. Granny Mirror. So usually I'll start off with something like this. Haggard style, right? Let's go into modifiers. Let's pull the length way back. There we go. It's starting to get a little bit better. Let's pull max fibers way back. I'd rather have them, so a beard usually is thicker hair, but not as much hair, right? Mr. T. So what I'd rather do usually is I'd rather have them sparse at first, because then I can, once I have the overall shape and look, then I can save it, or accept it, and then just dupe it, and then move things around. So I usually, what I do is I tend to err on the side of less than more. I don't know, man. That's kind of cool, as is. But you may want to go and do, you know, some twist or some more or less gravity. Maybe more gravity. I actually, honestly, I don't spend a whole lot of time in fiber mesh in the settings. Usually I'll just grab something similar or close to this and just say, okay, that's fine. Then I'll grab this dude, and then I'll use my move brush and just start moving some of this stuff around a little bit, getting some of that shape happen. Alright, and then you can elongate as well. Alright, and then I can take that and just duplicate it, and then move it over a little bit and change things up. Just kind of get things so they're not exactly the same. Just move some stuff around. Then if I want to change specific hairs, I can just move to my move topological, and then just grab specific hairs, like this one. I don't want that guy all the way out there. Alright. So for a lot of the stuff, if you dupe it and then just move some stuff, come on, where are you? There you are. Nope, where are you? Come on, get it. There we go. Then we'll go back to large move here. But if you move things enough, they won't look like they're duped. There are ways to do hair cards with this, but as many ways as we all try to find to get around from making traditional hand placed cards, there really isn't a whole lot that that makes up for that nice hand placed look, unfortunately. Grab this guy, bring him back in. Let's do move topological. Grab this guy, both of them back in. So this is kind of usually what I do. Is I'll just make one, dupe it, move things around a bit. Yeah, XGen is pretty fun too. And we'll pull these kind of back in so they're falling down more. Go back to my other one. So I'll just kind of do this a couple of times. Change it up enough so they don't look that bad. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll go back to this guy and then do one more. I probably will only do like two different versions. And then probably what I would do is I would do this longer version, or the secondary version, just in one particular area. So maybe the chin has some longer area. Go back to fiber mesh. Let's open this dude again. Grab this guy, hide that, take my length way down, bring my max fibers way down, turn that all the way up, maybe my max fibers way down even further. Again, so this is why I tend to go less thickness, because I want to be able to dupe it and move things around a little bit. So let's say that's fine. Alright, so let's go back into move, and then let's just... Ah! No! Son of a... Save. Save it. Save it! You dirty, rotten son of a... Rip! Alright, let's see if it saved it for us. Come on, Zbrush. Come on. I think it did. Hey, yo. Look at that. Nice. Alright, let's save this. Yeah, that whole, like, oh, it's crashing. Wait, we're going to save it for you just in case. That has saved my ass many times. Saved my arse. Alright. So now we're actually right back where we were. Perfect. Alright. So then, let's start moving. Come on. Come on. Moving some of this stuff around a little bit. I don't want it to like spread out too much. Kind of want to have it kind of go more toward, a little bit more towards a point. Ooh, this one right here. That one. That one. Let's go move topological and grab this guy. Come on. And bring him way back. There we go. ZBrush is classy even when it's crashing. Right? Alright, so let's go back to this dude. Go back to move. Let's turn on transparency and let's just pull all this stuff up. Alright, so this is, the idea is that it's coming out from his chin. If you haven't crashed ZBrush at least once a day, you aren't doing something right. Alright, so then now we've got kind of like this dual layeredness happening, where it's really giving us some nice kind of variance. And then what I'll do is I'll dupe this guy, and then that'll give us some extra thickness down there. So yeah, that's probably what I would do, just to block that out. Ginger, so what was the difference in brushes when you selected on strand compared to a large clump? Oh, so basically I have two different move brushes. One is the regular move brush, which basically moves everything in the subtool. So that'll move everything like this, no matter if it's separate mesh or not. But if you use move topological, which is brush, move topological, basically what that does is it will just grab the mesh by itself that's disconnected from everything else. Right? So like it will just grab one mesh. They use move topological a lot. So if I want to just do a couple of these hairs, I can move those however I see fit without moving the overall piece, you know what I mean? It becomes really handy when you want to get in and do very specific stuff. Like these guys out here, I may want to, yeah, so let's go back to this guy. So I want to probably just grab these couple that are coming out. Sometimes it's a little bit tough to grab the one that you want, especially with so many pieces here. There we go. Yep. So sometimes those flyaways are nice, and other times you want to control them a bit more, you know? So maybe we'll have it just come out this way. Instead of coming out this way, we'll have them come from in to out to in, that kind of thing. I think this guy probably is a little much. Again, you know, it's the same concept as when you're sculpting, is let's get the overall shape first, you know, and then start working on the smaller pieces. Okay, then we'll go back to this guy. Come on, give it to me. That guy? Yeah, it is that guy. Alright, then let's isolate then. There we go. Alright, so let's turn everything back on. See how that looks. Yeah, there we go. Sam Peterson, how are you, man? That's where we're at. How are you, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Got about 10 minutes left, just in time. This is the, I haven't actually shown you the full project here yet. Early blockout stages. But we're getting there. Nice, man. Yeah, dude, I've been following you on Zbrush or on. Why is there two? Oh, wait a minute. Let's turn this guy off first. Hey, Elf. There we go. Yeah, man. They I don't really use them for production, but it's nice to get some decent look dev out of, you know. What's even cooler is then you can start to add, you know, let's go in and append maybe a sphere real quick and grab this dude. We'll bring him down. Just start adding some accoutrements. I like that word, accoutrements. Makes me feel smart. But yeah, Sam, dude, I'm glad to have you here, bro. Every once in a while I drop into your streams. I don't really say much. I'm more of a lurker when I'm on, but it's good to have you here, man. Keep rocking your rock, bro. Yeah, the horns are really cool. The style that they came up with in God of War was very unique and amazing. So this dude's got like little rocks and stuff in his beard. So we can just come in and do a quick trim dynamic. We just do some rock faces here. Just blocking this out real quick. See if there's any. Yeah, look, it's a rock. It's a rock. And then we could dupe that. Flip that around. Look, now it's two rocks. And we'll just make that a little bit different. Done. And then maybe we'll take that same one and make just a third one. We'll make that a little bit smaller. Rotate it just a little bit, make it a little different. So yeah, then you can come in and just do some cool stuff like this. And then maybe what we can do is, let's do auto groups. And then we're going to grab this little rope brush from Bad King. Brush. My custom stuffs. I think it's in hard surface. badking.au.com has a really awesome rope brush for free. I use this thing all the time. All the time. So I can go like this, hold down shift, pull outside of the silhouette, and then boom, we've got a little rope. I'm going to do this on the back though. Make this a lot smaller. Hold down shift, pull outside, boom, there we go. Let's see if that's big enough here. Let's get rid of the curve. There we go. Let's turn that off. Yeah, maybe a little bit smaller. Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what those will be. And while that curve is still active, I can come down and actually make that smaller. Okay, that's good. And then let's do another one. Maybe this way. There we go. Oh man, it saves so much time. So much time. Oops. So let's do that, and then we'll go into... here's another way that move topology comes in really handy. So let's clear the mask. So let's say you have no mask in here, and you want to just move one of these, right? So like, that's connected. Or it's not connected. Hold on. Let's make sure that... Alright, I gotta wrap this up here in a minute, guys and gals. Let's make sure that that is on this side. I think we were down at like 10 or 11 or something. A little bit smaller. Let's go down to 9. Yeah, let's say it was 9. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, that's good enough. So we'll clear the mask. And then let's go to move to topological. And because that's a different mesh, I can move that, right? Still on the same what is it called? Same subtool. But because it's actually a separate mesh, I can go and move them independently depending on which one I click on. Alright, so maybe I'll go into trim dynamic. Fix that up real quick. Let's go back to move. Alright, if I want to come back in and kind of move this around a little bit and adjust them afterwards, I can easily and quickly do that. Makes it awesome. Alright, so now we've got little dangly accoutrements. Alright, and then let's say if I want to... Alright, last trick real quick. So let's do this. Let's append a cube. Let's go to my cube. Yes. Basically what I want to do is I want a flat plane to draw a curve on. So I'm just going to grab a cube, kind of move that into place. Maybe rotate it back just a little bit. Like so. Okay. And then now what I can do is with that same brush, I can come in and just do a flat plane. Right? So if I want something just straight and flat, boom, there we go. So put this down to like 8 or 9. Boom, there we go. Right? So that's a separate polygroup. So then we do that, and then we'll do split hidden. Let's grab this guy, let's turn that off, get outside. And there we go. And now I got a flat curve. I mean a flat curve? A flat curve. That's a flat curve, of course. Alright. That's what time it is. And then I can come in here, just do this real quick. And then now I can come in with a move brush and just kind of give this a little bit of curviness to it. Maybe this is going to be like this. Alright, and then maybe we can actually dupe that, move it over a little bit, rotate it. Oh yeah! And then we'd take that even further. Alright, boys and girls, gens and gents, ladies and germs, we gotta call it for the day. I think we got some good stuff done. Keep chipping along at the face. We got some beard blocked out. We got some more shapes going on in the eyes and the lips. Definitely has way far to go. But we're moving. We're moving at a slow and steady pace. I will be back next Saturday, not this weekend, but the weekend after, and we'll pick this up right where we left off here. And do some more stuff. Well, thanks for coming by, everybody. I hope you had a lot of fun. Stay tuned for more awesome streamers on the Pixelogic channel. If you haven't followed the Pixelogic channel here on Twitch, definitely encourage you to do that. There's a whole lot more amazing artists coming up every day. And if you want to go see any of the previous stuff, you can catch the previous streams on zbrushlive.com under my channel. If you'd like to follow my personal channel, it's right over there. Just twitch.tv Brendon Isaiah Bengtson. Good luck on spelling it. Copy paste is awesome. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks, everybody. Good conversations today. Awesome questions. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned a couple things. And most of all, I hope you're inspired to go make your own cool stuff. So do it. Go make some cool stuff. Draw, sculpt, learn. Make mistakes. Learn from those. And then do them again. Alright, guys and gals. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, everybody. Later.